Hi everyone, my name is Nicola and I am simply a stitcher. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Pull up a chair, grab a drink and sit with me while I stitch, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you very much for spending some time hanging out with me today. So today I'm going to do a little stitch with me, and as you can see from what you can see on your screens now, I am doing the absolutely beautiful, let's get the glare off it, Black Cat and Butterflies piece by Lorna Laine. It's my Gecko Rouge kit. Yeah, Lorna Laine, and I'm working this one on 18 count Ada, 2 strands of floss over 1 thread of fabric, and it is absolutely beautiful. If you're following me on Instagram, you will have seen some of the more recent updates that I've put in on this piece. I'm currently up to 44.55%, and I've been working around, I've been finding the top of the piece here, so I've been working around the moon, and I'm filling in the moon, sort of a strand here, a strand there, so I'm not doing a massive amount of blanket stitching in the one colour. And this butterfly has now also started to appear. If you've seen my Instagram pictures, you will know that I have got the cat's chin right down to the bottom, and I found that butterfly and I got all the way to the left, and again, you know, I've got a full ear of the cat in and part of this ear. So today, I'll just move the paper pattern away because I have this, had opted for both paper and pattern keeper for this one. So today I'm going to be working in this section up here and filling in some of the pinks and purples and heading towards that butterfly, which, as you can see, is just the edges here are peeking in, and there's the top of the cat's nearest ear. Okay, so yeah, just get my light in place and let's go ahead and have a little stitch with me. I'm currently on my lunch break. I am in my new job. It's all going very, very well, but oh my goodness, I am definitely in need of the lunch break. So yeah, okay, so phone battery permitting, we'll have at least a good half an hour on this today. I've been stitching already this morning and I'm at 311 stitches done on this today, so yeah, let's just see how we get on and bash through and have a little chat as we go. So I've got this set up on my Lowry stand. As I said, in my floss tube I have changed my setup slightly, which you actually may be able to see better on here. Going off at a massive tangent already, and I've only put in one stitch. So if I just zoom out and raise the camera, so here is the clamp of my stand, and you can see that I've got an oblong, it's kind of an oblong frame there. This is an LBC clip frame, and as you can see what I've done, I haven't anchored the side bit, I've just sort of clipped it in where I can. It's not all clipped in, but it's very easily movable, which has got to be a good thing, right? So yeah, I am loving the way it's working. But I did want to ask a question, because I saw the World of Cross Stitching is again advertising, you get a subscription, you can have a Lowry stand. I don't want another. Would you have the clamp part, the bit that you turn, at the top, or as per the advert, would you have it underneath? I suppose it's a potato, tomato question, but you know, just wanted to see what everybody else does, because for me, with it being underneath, I don't think that would be terribly convenient. But yeah, if you guys could sort of let me know what you do with it, I'd be eternally grateful. Because if I'm doing it wrong, I don't suppose it is wrong, but yeah, I think I'd like to know. So, what news? What news from Nicola's land this week or this month? Because this is my first stitch with me this month. So, the new job started. I am in my 3rd week. I had a week of fairly intensive training and did a few days of call listening that went into week 2. And then I am on the phones now myself. I've learnt an awful lot. I've changed from, I've changed wholly the focus of the business. From before, I was working in bereavement services and power of attorney, and I've now changed completely to a lending sort of side of the business. It's been very good. It's been very interesting to learn, and oh boy, I've learned a lot. So the head is a bit full right now. It's full of lots of bits of information. I do find that my days are going incredibly quickly, and a couple of times my colleague who's listening to my calls and I have been like, yeah, let's go and have a quick cup of tea, quick 10 minutes, and it's just like blink of an eye and I'm back at my desk. So yeah, I've got a big screen as well instead of just my work laptop, which makes things much easier. Although that was a bit of a debacle. I mean, who knew that, that they didn't check screens when they came back in from departing employees? But, never mind. I've got a new one now. And there's just a couple of other little bits of stuff that I need just to make things 100% comfortable for me. But yeah, other than that, it's all good. And I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Even though, like I said, it's mentally tiring, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Okay, so I did a floss tube at the end of the month, at the end of February, and also a stitch with me on Avarice last month. I did work a few more days on Avarice because I'm pretty sure that you all know what it's like when a piece just literally, it shouts at you. It doesn't talk to you, it shouts at you. In fact, it bellows at you. And I couldn't put Avarice down. And then I picked this one back up. And of course, here's me wanting to get into a rotation. But every piece I pick up, I struggle to put down. But yeah, I had a couple of questions that came up. The first one was about gridding. Now, I did mention this in my floss tube, but I'm going to talk about it again now. When I gridded Avarice, when I started Avarice, although I'd been stitching for a number of years, she was my first big project. I'd stitched lots of bits of stuff, lots of little cards, little pictures, stuff from magazines, that kind of thing. Avarice was started when I first discovered Heaven and Earth Designs. I thought at that time that the acceptable, or it was the norm at that time, because bear in mind, I started that piece something like 11 years ago. The norm and the expected way to grid was with a needle and thread, and you gridded every square, And for me, you chose how to do it, but for me, it was 2 by 2, 2 over, 2 under. And, you know, obviously it turned out that way. And then you would take out the scissors, the thread at the end. I would never grid that way again. Simply because I've been trying to take out some of the grid non-avarice as I go. And it's very difficult. I have to snip it, and bear in mind that I know I shouldn't cut the stitches. Luckily I haven't yet, touch wood. And then have to get some tweezers and pull out, you know, you're talking like maybe a ½ inch at the most length of thread at a time. When I degrid avarice, it's going to be a long sort of journey, as it were. But I'm not going to pull out what's there in the white section. I'm going to keep it in as it is, and just do it as it is and just learn from it. Now for all my gridding, I use a gridding pen. I know that lots of people use a gridding pen. I use this one. It's a Friction 4-colour, and it's a heat erasable pen. I know some people have had problems with these, but for me, I only ever grid on white fabric. I certainly wouldn't do it on hand-dyed fabric, because from what I understand, when you erase it, it can leave a white line, which nobody wants. So all I do when I'm gridding now is, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you can see on this piece, it's partially gridded. So I've left this bit open in the middle, you know, just so that I could sort of show what I do. So I hold the fabric taut, and I'm just continuing down the lines that I already have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not very clear, that one. Just continue down the lines that I have using my Friction pen. And because it's heat erasable, even when I wash it, the lines will go. When I iron it, they'll definitely go. So that's what I use now for gridding. Everybody's different, and I get that. Some people still prefer to hand sew to grid, but I can tell you this now, after discovering the Friction pen, for my full coverage pieces, there's no other way that I would grid. So the other question I got asked was about my finishing, because if you've seen my last floss tube, you will see that I finished the steampunk seahorse and framed it. So my next job, my next video, if I can, will be to go through again how I would do it, how I would wash and finish my pieces. Understandably, my method may be different to yours, which may be different to the next person's, and so on, but it's how I do it and how it's worked for me. I do have the fellowship still to FFO. I haven't backstitched it yet, but once I FFO the fellowship, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do a video of me washing it, stretching it, drying it, ironing it. I'm very controversial in the way I frame things because I don't lace. I just cut to the size. Oh dear, I've gone in the wrong hole. I just cut to the size of the frame, and rogue thread come through there, look, yeah. Just snip that off, it's just a thread end. I cut to the size of the frame and use some acid-free double-sided tape to secure my pieces inside the frame. For me, it works for me because of then the pieces are easily portable from one frame into another. If I frame something and it doesn't match, or if I frame something as a gift and it doesn't match, I always tell the recipient, as long as you get a like for like a size, you should just be able to easily transfer this piece into a frame of your choice. So my way of framing, I'm going to tell you now, guys, might be controversial. So I guess, oh, excuse me, a hiccup's just snuck up on me. I guess we'll see, when I do that video. Okay. And again, I've also had further comments about my starting and ending method. Do go have a look at the video, guys. It is there. I'll leave a link in the description again for that. So if you've not found it, you can go and have a look at my starting and ending method. I just use a scrap of fabric and I do it in hand, but it works the same in hand as it was on the frame. When I did the video, I did it in hand, so I could easily flip it over for you guys to be able to see the underside of my work. Ooh. So yeah, so I hope everybody is keeping well and safe. We are here currently. It's, oh, hello cat. The cat's come to see me. She hears me talking. Andy had a birthday. He is another year older, but he says he feels like he's 18 years old. So, well, he's actually 38, but he still feels 18. So there we go. So we went out as a family and had a birthday meal out. I think I've put that in the wrong hole. Yes, I have. Yeah, so I had a birthday meal out and it was lovely. It was really nice to be able to spend time with the girls. I've got to flip this because I have done a loop start. Well, I shouldn't have done a loop start. Yeah, it was lovely to have some time with the girls, time out, go and have a meal out, especially now as we're all kind of packed together. My stepdad is out of hospital, so Hannah is back at home and life has kind of returned to some semblance of normality. So it's great, we could all go out, spend some quality time together, have a bit of a laugh, have a meal and just kind of really enjoy Andy's day with him. So yeah, that's really all that's been happening. Not very much at work and learning and stitching. So yeah, that's better. I'm in the right place now. I mean, what a wally. I'm still loving the method that I'm using, which is pick up a thread and use it until it runs out. I seem to have got a lot done on this piece lately. I am still averaging 1,000 stitches a day. Like yesterday though, because obviously we went out, I only got 700 in, but the previous day the Sunday I got 1,300 in, so it balances things out. Just sort out my stand, that's it. So, and you might see that I do stitch sometimes with my scissors in my hand, I got Victoria to make me a string to attach it to the Lowry, so I don't lose them, and so that nobody nicks off with them and cuts paper or anything like that with them. But it's an old habit from many years ago when I used to work in a sewing factory making ladies' undergarments for Marks and Spencer's, which is a UK. It's like a classic shop in the UK now. But all their work's gone offshore now. Yeah, I used to work in a sewing factory, and we were taught that when we were using the machines to keep our scissors in our hand, believe it or not. So yeah. I can hear my colleague. I am still connected to a Zoom call for when I go back, and my colleague who's been listening with me, he's doing some of his work now. I can just hear him chattering away. You might hear it as something like as though somebody's using a mobile phone and they're outside and you can't really hear what's being said, but you know, it's just like this faint sound in the background. It's a bit weird, but you know, there we go. So we're almost halfway through March already. 30 days are September, April, June and November. So 31 days in March. Today is the 15th. It's a Tuesday. And we're almost halfway through March, guys. So soon it will be April, the month of Easter. Mother's Day at the end of this month. Easter next month. May the month after. And in here in the UK, not in here in the UK, I do believe that in May we get some additional bank holidays because the Queen is celebrating her Platinum Jubilee. And yeah, we get extra time off work for that. It's great because I work in a job where I do not work on a bank holiday, which is fabulous. So yeah, I'm still happy doing the remote working from home, but there will be occasional times when I do visit the office. Next week is one such time, so I will go into the office, and although I know of my new work colleagues, I will actually get to meet them face to face, which will be rather nice, and spend a day in the office. It kind of brings back a bit of normality, doesn't it? So yeah, it's been quite a month so far. I didn't think I would be this settled in a new job so quickly, but you know, you always think when you leave something or you move from something that you've been doing for a couple of years, that it's going to be hard to forget it. And if I'm honest, it's not. It's not hard. But there we go. There we are. I still have some start plans and some I recently received my annual bonus from work as well, and I figured that I would get some stash, and I have seen, I think it's 11 charts, all Lord of the Rings related, because as you all know, I love the Lord of the Rings, all about £3 each, something daft like that, from Etsy. They're in the old style of like a travel what's the word? Like an advertisement, but the very old style for travel, like, you know, visit such and such a place. Well, these ones are like Visit Mordor and Visit the Shire and Visit Dwaradelf and so on. So I'm quite keen to get those. And that's my bonus gift to myself, because to be fair, I did okay. And I was okay with what I got. And I don't think it'll be long before it'll be used up, actually, though, because our costs as a family are increasing. Electricity, gas, food, all going up. And of course, now with things that are happening in Russia and in the Ukraine, as I'm pretty sure that everybody knows, and you know, not gas, Americans would call it gas, we call it petrol. So petrol and diesel prices are increasing exponentially across the UK at the moment, and some greedy retailers are asking up to 20 pence a litre more than what it was this time 2 weeks ago, which is just ridiculous, and shame on them. Our major fuel, one of our major fuel suppliers in the UK, they were still getting their crude oil, I think, or their something to do with petrol anyway, and diesel. They were still getting it from Russia, but they soon sort of changed their stance on it when, you know, the public voiced their opinion, because I don't think it's a very good idea, given everything that's happening right now, for a company to be supporting Putin's Russia. It's just not good at all. Oh, do excuse me a hiccup. I'm gonna have a drink of coffee. If you do hear faint sounds of a baby crying, it's the toddler next door, little boy next door. So. Oh, we had a bit of drama on our street here last night. If you don't know, I live in Yorkshire, and I'm quite nosy. I openly admit it, I am nosy. And last night, I went to bed. I don't even know I live in Yorkshire was relevant there, but never mind. I went to bed, and before I went to bed, obviously I went to use the bathroom. And I'm sat in the bathroom now. In my house, the bathroom is at the front. So the window is at the side of my house, but the bathroom is set at the front of the house, if that makes sense. And I'm sat there, you know, as you do. And I can hear this wailing and screaming, and I'm thinking, what on earth's wrong with that child? It's about 9:30, 10:15, not terribly late. I'm not a late kind of person. I like to go to bed fairly early, because I'm up early to stitch, of course. And I could hear this noise going on, and I was like, what in blazes is happening? And I have a security camera. It's almost like the ultimate in laziness. I can just put the security camera on and I can see like a fisheye view of the front of my house, and it extends quite widely. And the security camera was showing us offline, which was sort of quite odd. So me being me, goes to the daughter's bedroom, which is the front bedroom, and that's where the camera is plugged in. And I'm sort of tinkering there with it, trying to toddle with it. No. It's one of those words that I can't say. Toddle. Anyway, I was trying to mess with it and get it to work. Words are hard. And eventually it did come back online. And I said to Hannah, I want it online because I can hear something happening outside. And she's like, well, what can you hear? And I says, I can hear a child who's screaming and crying. Oh, I can't hear anything, she says. And I'm thinking, no, just wash your chuffing ears out, kid. And I says, okay, that's fine. But obviously I want to know what's going on, because if there's something I can help with, I'll quite happily stick a coat on over my pyjamas and off I go. Anyway, I'm looking out and there's a crowd. I say a crowd. There's a number of people outside one of the houses a little bit further up. And amongst them is the child who'd been crying. And then I start to hear sirens in the distance. And I'm thinking, oh, goodness, is it? I hope everybody's okay. Is it an ambulance or what? It turned out it was a fire engine. So there'd been a small fire in the back of the property. Now, whether it was inside the property or outside the back door of the property or a shed or whatever, I don't know. But I would assume it was inside because they all evacuated out of the property for the fire brigade to turn up. I couldn't see any flames, and I could only see the very odd wisp of smoke. But the fire service dealt with it fairly quickly. We saw a hose go into the property, and then we saw a fan, a large fan, to clear out any residual smoke go into the property as well. But thankfully everybody was okay. There was no need for an ambulance or anything like that. So yeah, it was a bit of a relief. But yeah, it's a bit of drama for a Monday night, isn't it? So there we go. So that is my life as it stands at the moment. Work, home, kids. Victoria went to London last week for college and had a thoroughly nice time. She was at the Victoria and Albert Museum, she was at the Tate Gallery, she was at the Saatchi Gallery. It's all to do with her college work, and she had a fantastic time, although it was lovely how she said to me, I really wish I was going with you, Mum, because when we went together we had a fabulous time. But it is what it is, kid, and I'm afraid I can't be with you all the time. And it's unfortunately a fact of life that as she's growing up, she'll learn this. But, you know, anywho. So, yeah, that's it. That is my life. My plans. Upcoming stitchy plans are to stitch on this until basically I've given up all hope of stitching another single stitch on it. I am halfway up. I don't know if you can see the line here. I think you can. I'm halfway up the moon. There's the bottom, and then I've got that much of the moon to fill in. When I start stitching that, I might get terribly bored and then decide to switch out for a different project. And I think it might be time to bring the Maui Princess out. But with Avarice now being at 75% complete, I am not sure. I might just be tempted to pull her back out. I'm not going to start my New Year, New Start until I've finished a big project, whether it's this one or Avarice. I don't know. This is just short of 60,000 stitches, and Avarice is this is just short of 60,000 stitches, 56,594, and I've done 25,000 and some change at the moment. Avarice is 240,000 and I've done 180,100. So I've got 59,900 left on Avarice. I've got a lot less left on this. So it might be this one. that's done first. I don't know. I don't know. And I still have the Emma Congdon to restart. Well, say restart, not to restart, to do again. The City of Love, because my colleague, I'm going to be running out of time soon if I don't get my butt moving and do it. So there we go. I'm hoping that certainly by Mania, I want to say by Mania, March, April, May, mid-March, end of April, end of May. So I've got about 10 weeks. No, mid-March, March, April, 6 weeks. I've got about 6 weeks to go. I'm hoping to get one or other, either this or Avarice, finished in that time. I don't think it'll be Avarice because there's too many stitches. 60,000 stitches in 6 weeks. That's 10,000 stitches in a week. That's 1,300 plus per day. I can't manage that many because I'm working. I can manage 1,000 and I'm not, although some days it's tenuous. But I know that I'm also going to have a few days coming up where I may not be able to stitch, or may not be able to stitch as much. So it's not going to be Avarice. What I might do is, is do this and then get Avarice out and aim to finish her in Mania. I might get Avarice back out, say mid-month next month or early next month, and then work like the clappers and see what I can do to get her finished. But we'll see, because then that would put back everything else. Oh, it's a hard decision. Oh, it's a hard decision, it really is. You know, it'd be nice if I just had all the time in the world and every day to stitch, but unfortunately life is not that kind, and I do have other things to do. But never mind, eh? Never mind. Anywho, let's see what we've done so far. I am approximately, yes, I'm just over 104 stitches done in that little sesh, and I've been recording for 38 minutes. Unfortunately, I have to go back to work. So, thank you for joining me today. Again, if you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. I noticed I've had an influx of new subscribers here lately, and if you are one of them, thank you so much. It means the world. I'm creeping up into the 660s now, which is it's just phenomenal. Before my last floss tube, I think I was about 640-ish, something like that. If you wish to follow me on Instagram, you can do so, and the hashtag you would need is @simplyaStitcher. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. So give me a follow on Instagram if you're not doing so already. If you're not subscribed, and I do see from the demographics and the information from YouTube that a lot of people are watching who are not subscribed. Even if you don't ever watch a video of me again, please subscribe. It's really so important. Get out what I'm doing, the projects that I'm doing out there. It's very much appreciated. There's my little needle minder for this one. It's very much appreciated. So I'm going to clear off I'm going to get ready to go back to work, and I will speak to you all hopefully on my next, well, certainly on my next update beginning of April, but hopefully I might get another Stitch With Me done next week. I know I keep saying this and I'm absolutely rubbish because it never works out, but fingers crossed I can. Excuse me, look at the yawn creeping up there as well. But yeah, fingers crossed I can get another Stitch With Me done. It'd be great if I can. But once again, thanks for your company. Take care, happy stitching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.